If sleeping with my ex's worst enemy would help me move on, I was so wrong, because now she won't stop looking at me like I belong to her, and honestly, I'm not sure I want her to stop. Okay, before you judge me too hard, let me tell you what happened. Because I promise I didn't plan any of this. 6 months ago, Emma and I broke up. And when I say broke up, I mean she dumped me, vanished for a couple weeks, and then randomly popped back up online with a new girlfriend like our entire 3-year relationship was just nothing. And the caption? Finally happy again. Like being with me was some phase she survived. The worst part wasn't even the breakup itself. Breakups happen, people fall out of love, life moves on. It was how easy it looked for her, how easy she handled it all. 3 years together, movie nights, grocery runs, fighting over whose turn it was to do laundry, falling asleep on the couch together, knowing exactly how she took her coffee without asking. And suddenly all of that just disappeared. My apartment felt too quiet after she left. I'd catch myself turning to tell her something and realize there was no one there. I'd still wake up on my side of the bed like the other half was for someone else. And every little thing reminded me of her. Songs, restaurants, even stupid inside jokes that popped into my head at not as good times. Meanwhile, she was online posting smiling selfies with someone new like I'd never existed. So yeah, I handled that really well. By crying in private, stalking her Instagram way more than I should have, and telling everyone I was completely over her. Spoiler, I was not over her. Which is exactly why going to the company holiday party last Friday was a terrible idea. I didn't even want to go. I was perfectly fine staying home in pajamas, pretending my life wasn't falling apart. But my coworker Jess practically dragged me there and shoved a drink into my hand.
Socialize. You're not rotting yourself all alone crying in your apartment tonight.
So there I was, standing near the bar, pretending cheap wine didn't taste more depressing than I am, nodding along to conversations I didn't actually care about. And then Emma walked in, with her new girlfriend. And suddenly the room felt way too suffocating. They looked happy, Emma's arm around her waist like it had always belonged there. And then Emma saw me, and she smiled. Not friendly, not awkward, smug. Like she was proud of how well she'd replaced me. My stomach dropped. I suddenly found the floor extremely interesting. If I didn't move, maybe no one would notice me. Maybe this night would just magically undo itself. Then the entrance doors opened again, and Emma's smile disappeared. I frowned and looked up, and Riley Carter walked in. Tall, confident, the kind of person who doesn't try to get attention but gets it anyway. Emma's worst enemy. They used to be best friends back in college until something changed between them. No one really knows what happened, just that afterward they couldn't even be in the same room without wanting to tear each other's hair out. And now Riley was here. Of course she was. Because apparently my humiliation needed to be seen by more people. Great. So I turned away, hoping she wouldn't see me. 2 seconds later, someone leaned in close beside me.
You look like you're having the worst night of your life.
I jumped slightly. Riley stood next to me, hands on her sides, looking way too amused. Was I that obvious?
A little.
Her gaze flicked past me toward Emma, then back.
Is she your ex or something?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't plan on seeing her tonight.
No one ever does.
For a second, we just stood there in silence, music going around us. Then Riley leaned a little closer, so I could hear her over the noise.
You know, I'd be a much better person to spend the night with.
My brain fully stopped. What? A tiny smirk pulled at her mouth.
And definitely better in bed.
Heat rushed straight to my face. Are you serious right now?
Just saying, you deserve an upgrade, especially since that rat was your ex.
And something about the way she said it, calm, confident, like it wasn't even a question, threw me off. Across the room, Emma laughed loudly, and I instinctively looked over. She caught me looking, and gave me that same smug smile. And something inside me snapped. All the hurt, all the embarrassment, all the nights wondering why I wasn't enough. I turned back to Riley. Oh yeah? That's all big talk. Her eyebrow lifted slightly.
Oh, why? Do you want me to prove it?
If you have the guts to even prove it, then yes. The words left my mouth before my brain caught up. And Riley actually looked surprised. Like genuinely surprised.
Most people don't actually say yes.
My heart was pounding. Good. Let her be surprised. So before I could think it over, before logic or self-preservation kicked in, I grabbed her jacket and kissed her. Not soft, not hesitant. A real kiss. Part revenge, part impulse. Part of me being completely done feeling powerless. For half a second, Riley didn't move, like her brain needed a second to process what was happening. Then her hand slid to my waist and she kissed me back. Confident, warm, like she was enjoying this way more than she thought she would have. The noise of the party faded into the background. People around us looked, but I barely noticed. Because Riley kissed like she meant it. And somewhere in the middle of it, something I didn't want to feel hit me. I liked it. Not just because Emma was watching. Not just because it was petty revenge. But because Riley felt right. And that thought scared me more than the kiss itself. When we finally pulled apart, I was slightly out of breath. Riley blinked at me, impressed.
Well, that escalated fast.
I glanced over her shoulder. Emma was staring. Her jaw was tight. Her girlfriend was confused. Good. Let her look. But when I turned back, Riley was still watching me. Not smug. Not teasing. Interested. Like she'd just discovered something she didn't think she would have. And that was the exact moment my night officially went off the rails. Okay, real quick. If you're already yelling at your screen wondering how badly this is about to blow up in my face, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. Because trust me, this situation gets way messier. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, because I seriously need to know I'm not the only person out here making terrible decisions at midnight. Alright, back to how this situation got even worse. For about 5 seconds after we kissed, my brain completely stopped working. Which was probably a good thing, because if it hadn't, I might have realized just how reckless that was. Riley's hand was still on my waist, warm and steady, like she hadn't just been dragged into this mess by a woman making emotionally unstable decisions. Up close, her blue eyes studied me, curious now instead of teasing.
Are you okay?
Yeah, why?
Just checking you didn't black out and forget what you did.
Behind us, the party noise slowly came back into focus. People laughing, music going around, glasses clinking. Reality creeping back in. And then I remembered. Emma. I glanced past Riley's shoulder. Emma was still staring. Her girlfriend looked confused, whispering something to her, but Emma didn't take her eyes off us. For the first time since our breakup. She didn't look smug. She looked annoyed. Jealous, maybe. And honestly, that felt way better than it should have. Because for months, I'd been the one hurting while she moved on like nothing happened. Seeing her like this for once felt like now she's hurting too. Petty? Absolutely. But also satisfying. Riley followed my gaze and chuckled quietly.
Well, that definitely got her attention.
Good. Her eyebrow lifted slightly.
Was that just a revenge kiss?
That was a part of it.
And the other part?
I opened my mouth, then closed it again. Because the honest answer was, I didn't actually know. All I knew was Riley was still close, her hand still warm against my waist, and suddenly going back to pretending nothing happened felt impossible. My heart was still racing for reasons that had nothing to do with Emma.
So what now?
That was a really good question. Because now that the adrenaline was wearing off and the feeling of awkwardness started creeping in, I stepped back slightly, rubbing the back of my neck. Honestly, I didn't think this far ahead. Riley laughed softly.
Yeah, I noticed.
Silence stretched between us for a second. Not uncomfortable, just a lot of tension. Like something unfinished hung in the air between us. Then she tilted her head toward the exit.
Want some air?
I should have said no. I should have grabbed Jess, gone home, and spent the night rethinking my life choices. Instead, yeah, sure. Because apparently I was committed to making bad decisions tonight. We slipped out through the side exit, the cold night air hitting my face instantly. The noise of the party faded behind us, replaced by distant traffic and the hum of the city. I wrapped my arms around myself. The quiet felt strange after the chaos inside. My heartbeat finally started slowing, but my head was still spinning.
Are you cold?
She shrugged off her jacket and held it out. I hesitated. You don't have to.
Just take it. You look like you need it more than I do anyways.
Her tone was casual, but there was something gentle underneath it. So I did. And immediately regretted it because it smelled like her, and that was way more distracting than it should have been. Warm, clean, familiar already, somehow. We leaned against the building wall, quiet for a moment. Cars passed on the street. Someone laughed somewhere down the block, still hearing the music faintly through the walls behind us. Then Riley glanced at me.
So, be honest. Was that all just about your ex?
I thought about it. About the kiss. About the way my stomach flipped before I even checked if Emma was watching. About how, for a few seconds, Emma completely disappeared from my mind. That wasn't just for my ex. Something in Riley's expression softened slightly.
That's good to know.
And the way she said it made my stomach flip again. Silence settled again, heavier this time. And suddenly, I was very aware that we were alone. Outside. At night. After kissing. My brain finally started catching up, reminding me that Riley Carter was technically supposed to be off limits. Emma hated her, their history was messy, and I was somehow caught in the middle of something I didn't understand. But right now, none of that seemed to matter. Riley pushed off the wall slightly.
So, do you want me to call you a ride home?
And there it was. The easy exit. The responsible choice. Go home, sleep, forget this ever happened. Wake up tomorrow and pretend tonight was just a weird blip. Instead, my mouth betrayed me again. Or, I could stay with you. Riley blinked, surprised.
Are you sure?
No, but tonight's already a mess, so why stop now? And that was the truth. My life already felt upside down. One more bad decision wouldn't change much. For a second, she studied me like she was making sure I meant it. Making sure I wouldn't regret this later. Then a slow smile appeared.
All right, but just so we're clear, I wasn't kidding earlier.
I frowned slightly. About what? Her grin widened slightly.
About the whole being better in bed talk.
Heat rushed to my face again. Wow, you really committed to that, huh? She laughed, pushing away from the wall and walking toward a sleek black car parked nearby. She opened the passenger door and looked at me expectantly.
Get in, Lena.
And instead of asking where we were going, I did. Because apparently, at this point, I'd already decided consequences were tomorrow's problem. And tonight? Tonight, I was done being the sad ex-girlfriend watching someone else move on. Tonight, I wanted to feel wanted. And Riley, whether she meant to or not, made me feel exactly that. The door shut, the engine started, the party faded behind us. And somewhere in the back of my mind, a tiny voice whispered, "This is going to get complicated." But I ignored it, because for the first time in months, I felt alive again. The drive to Riley's place was quiet. Not awkward quiet, just heavy. Like both of us knew exactly where this night was heading, and neither of us wanted to say it out loud in case that somehow made it real. Streetlights flashed across the windshield as we drove. I watched the city blur past, my reflection faint in the window, Riley's jacket still wrapped around me. Part of me kept whispering, "You should go home. Call it a night, blame the alcohol, pretend tomorrow never happened." Another part kept saying, "Screw it. You've been sad long enough." Riley parked in front of a modern apartment building downtown and killed the engine. For a second, neither of us moved. Then,
You can still change your mind.
I swallowed. "Do you want me to?" Riley glanced at me, expression unreadable.
It doesn't matter what I want.
That answer did absolutely nothing to calm my nerves. But instead of backing out, I unbuckled my seatbelt. "Guess we're going upstairs then." A small smirk tugged at her mouth.
I guess we are.
Her apartment was exactly what I expected. Minimal, clean, expensive looking without trying too hard. Floor-to-ceiling windows showing off the city lights like some magazine photo shoot. Definitely not the kind of place owned by someone whose life was falling apart. Unlike mine. I stepped inside, suddenly hyper-aware of everything. The quiet, the closeness, The fact that I was in Riley Carter's apartment at almost midnight after kissing her in front of half my coworkers. Riley tossed her keys onto the counter.
Do you want a drink?
I think I've had enough bad decisions tonight. She laughed softly.
That's fair.
Silence stretched between us again, this time heavier. I turned toward her. She was already looking at me, and whatever teasing energy she'd had earlier was gone. Now she just looked serious, like she was trying to decide something. Then she stepped closer, slowly, giving me time to move away. I didn't. My back hit the edge of the couch. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. Her voice dropped slightly.
You don't have to do this just to get back at your ex.
My chest tightened. I'm not. And that scared me a little. Because if this wasn't about Emma, then what was it about? Riley studied my face like she was checking for hesitation. Finding none, she stepped even closer. Close enough that I could feel the warmth of her body. Close enough that leaving now would mean actually pushing her away.
Is this still revenge for you to get back at your ex?
I shook my head. No. And that was apparently the only answer she needed. Because she kissed me. Slow this time. Careful. Nothing like the reckless kiss at the party. This one felt intentional. Like she wanted to make sure every second of it was real. Her hands slid to my waist, pulling me closer, and mine found her shoulders automatically. And for the first time that night, Emma didn't cross my mind at all. It was just Riley. The warmth of her hands. The way she kissed like she wasn't in a hurry. Like she was making sure I actually wanted this. Somewhere between stumbling toward the couch and laughing when we nearly tripped over each other, things blurred. The city lights outside. Soft laughter when we bumped into the coffee table. Her hand brushing mine. The way tension slowly melted into something warmer, safer. And eventually, the rest of the night faded into something private and quiet and ours. Not rushed, not messy, just easy. And that was the dangerous part. Because easy was how feelings started. And I wasn't supposed to have feelings about this. This was supposed to be one reckless mistake. One night, one bad decision. Not something soft. Not something that feels this good. Not something I might actually want again. But somewhere between laughter and quiet and the city lights spilling across the room. I stopped thinking about consequences and just let myself feel wanted. For the first time in months. Lena narration. Morning came way too fast. I woke up staring at a ceiling that definitely wasn't mine. For 3 seconds, my brain couldn't place where I was. Then memories hit. The party. The kiss. The drive. Riley. Oh no. Carefully, I turned my head. Riley was still asleep beside me, hair a mess, breathing slow and even, one arm thrown lazily across the pillow. Completely peaceful, which somehow made everything feel more real. And way more complicated. Panic crept in. Not because last night had been bad. It hadn't. That was the problem. It had been easy, comfortable. And nothing about Riley Carter was supposed to feel comfortable. This was supposed to be a one-night bad decision. Not something that lingered. Not something that made my chest feel weirdly tight watching her sleep. I slipped carefully out of bed, grabbing my clothes from the floor and dressing as quietly as possible. The apartment looked different in daylight. Less mysterious. More real. Like whatever happened last night belonged in the morning now. Halfway to the door, Riley's sleepy voice cut through the room.
Do you always sneak out like this after a one-night stand?
I froze, turned around slowly. She was awake now, watching me, hair falling into her eyes, voice still rough with sleep. I didn't want to wake you. Riley stretched slightly, then leaned back against the headboard.
You didn't wake me.
Silence settled awkwardly between us. Morning light spilled through the windows, making everything feel too honest. Too real. I rubbed the back of my neck. So, last night, Riley waited. No pressure. No expectation. Which somehow made it harder. Probably shouldn't happen again. There it was. The responsible thing to say. The safe thing. For a second, Riley's expression didn't change. Then she nodded once. Calm.
I see, okay.
No argument. No guilt trip. No attempt to change my mind, which somehow made me feel worse. I picked up my bag. Thanks for understanding and not making it complicated. A small smirk tugged at her mouth.
Who says it's not complicated?
Despite myself, I smiled, then left before my brain changed its mind again. I was halfway home in an Uber when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. A message popped up.
You left wearing my jacket.
I blinked. Then another message appeared.
Also, I don't usually get kissed at parties and then get ghosted.
I stared at the screen. My heart did something stupid. Because she didn't sound mad. She sounded amused, interested, dangerous. And suddenly I had a feeling the situation wasn't as over as I wanted it to be. The typing bubble appeared again.
Relax, I'm kidding, keep it. You suit it better than I do anyways.
A pause.
Well, mostly.
I huffed out a small laugh despite myself. And that's when I realized something important. This wasn't just a messy one-night story anymore. This was going to follow me. Into work. Into my life. And knowing my luck, right back into Emma's orbit. And somehow, I had a feeling Riley Carter wasn't done with me yet. By the time I finally got home, exhaustion hit all at once. My apartment was quiet again. Familiar. Safe. Like none of the chaos from last night followed me inside. I kicked off my shoes, dropped my bag, and headed straight for the bathroom, already thinking a hot shower might wash away the terrible decisions I just made. Maybe if I slept long enough, everything would feel normal again tomorrow. I turned the shower on, steam already starting to fill the room. And then someone knocked on my door. 3 knocks. I frowned. Nobody ever came over without saying anything beforehand. For a second, I considered ignoring it. But the knocking came again. More impatient this time. So I walked back through the apartment and opened the door. And my stomach dropped. Emma stood there, hands in her jacket pockets, jaw tight, eyes already locked on mine.
We need to talk.
And just like that, I knew my life was about to get messy all over again. And if that cliffhanger just wrecked you, good. Because episode 2 is coming. And trust me, you're not ready for what happens next. So subscribe to Hush GL now, or you're going to be mad at yourself when you miss it. Alright, I'll see you in the comments as everyone freaks out for the next episode.